Hello there and welcome back. Earlier this morning, I received a message from a dream which says about you've already learned a ton of soul lessons. It's your job to find them. So I don't know what these lessons are and I don't know what we're talking about here, but that's what I've heard from the spirits and that's what I've received upon waking up. So let's see what kind of lessons are we talking about here? Is it something that you already know or aware of, or is it something that you will still have to find regardless? Either way, it's something to explore and know and realize and be conscious about. So let's officially open this reading. Okay. How are you today? How are you feeling today? I hope you're feeling fine. And today it's like I just somehow like have my nap. You could say that I'm still half awake or so. Although like I've been doing stuff like for like well, I woke up around 12 something and now it's already 2. But it takes time to wake up. And I feel like I could go sleep again, but I'm pulled to record this message, to read this message, and relay this message to you. So, anyway, what soul lessons are we talking about here, Spirit? Because it doesn't feel heavy or doesn't feel heavy, no? It's not. Sacredness and illumination. Sacredness and illumination, and you have union. Sacred union, and then you have purpose. Sacred union and yearning. So lesson about sacred union. Sacred union. Do you have any idea about this? I know it's weird to ask this. I know it's really weird to ask this to you, to ask you about. Are you aware of the sacred union? Or do you have any idea about the sacred union, the sacredness of this union? Because this is something like illumination of the yearning. You're yearning for the sacred union, and this is one of your soul lessons. But then you have in denial and honesty. Okay. So, there's actually no context when I receive this message. There's no context of, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. This is the subject of the topic. This is the theme and all. So it's usually just one line, and it's up to me and my intuition to play around, to gather information as much as possible to get the message out. And based from these cards that appeared, so this is like one of the soul lessons, I mean, that is asked here is about the sacred union. And it's like the divine feminine, the sacred union of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Okay. And each one of us has masculine and feminine sides within us. Regardless if you're male, female, we all have our divine feminine and divine masculine. And in this case, it feels like yearning, illumination of the yearning. But it requires some honesty here. Yeah, because how can you find your soul lesson if you're not honest? If you keep living in denial, then you will not really find your job, your holy job. Your holy job here is to find them. So to find the soul lessons. Because each one of us have already have soul lessons in the past lifetimes. And it's up to us to recover them, make sure that we recover those lessons that we have lost along the way, along the way when we arrived on earth. Because the moment we're born, okay, like the moment we're born, all of those lessons, all of those soul lessons that we learned in the previous lifetimes are mostly forgotten because of the programming and whatever is going on in our real lives, to make sure that we exist and maintain that existence. Okay, so, and because it's like, because of the dogma and all those things playing out, all of these lessons that we already know within ourselves are lost because we forget them. But in this lifetime, it's our job now to find those soul lessons and recover them because we already have them within us. And I remember I talked about this in my previous videos, in my readings, where I mentioned we collect karmic lessons in different lifetimes. And it's up for our soul in this lifetime, up for our soul's responsibility to make sure that we figure out and live up to those mission, to those soul contracts, to the contracts that we have signed up for before we came to earth. I know this is a big concept. I know, like, oh my god, what are you talking about now? Like, wow, soul contracts, this is a really big concept and all. So, I know it's a big concept, and don't panic, don't freak out, and don't fret. Okay, so let me explain. Okay, each one of us, okay, regardless of our age in this lifetime, that's why we have old souls, we have people who are mature in their age and all, because the reason why we have such ancient souls existing within or around us is because some people, without knowing it, have already been existing in lifetimes. Okay, and there's even a belief that your mole, your birthmark, is the last wound that killed you in the previous lifetime. So that's why I joked with my husband, because my husband has a big mole on his head. And then I joke like, that's why you died in last lifetime, because you were shot in the head. So, and then he laughed about it. So, and it was just funny. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, is it really like that? We don't know, and we'll never know. Okay, it's not up for us to know the details of it, because like, we tend to forget a lot of things, and the best way to recover them is through meditation, through being able to learn how to access the Akashic records, being able to access being able to access ourselves. That's why it's important for us to lean on towards ourselves. That's why I always remind people, like, the best way to know thyself is look around and look within. In my previous videos, I mentioned that a lot. Like, look around, look within. If you want to know about something, like your craft or whatever, even in writing, it can be applied. Look around and look within. And same with reading, same with intuition, same with trying to hone something that is so new to you. Look around and look within. Why? Because when you look around, you see a lot of things. You see the reality, you see what's going on around you. You feel things, you hear things, you taste things. This is your real food. Okay, for example, this is your real food and you're eating this real food. You're experiencing things. It's windy, it's cold, it's winter, it's summer, it's rainy. You feel that. But at the same time, you look within. How do you feel about the rain? How do you feel about the clouds passing by? How do you feel about the birds that pass by above you? How do you feel about the wind that brushes your skin? How do you feel about life in general? How do you feel about your life right now? And how do you think about your life right now? Okay, so this yearning, this illumination of yearning. So I feel like you're yearning for something, a sacred union of something, of someone. But right now you are in the middle of denial and honesty. The desire to tell all and be honest with this person, or you keep living in denial. So this is a karmic lesson that is yours to break. And yeah, like to break. Because like as I mentioned before, like these are big concepts. This is a big concept. What I'm talking about here. This is not something that we just say, just talk about it. Like this is something that not all people can swallow and understand. Okay, so because like in the previous lifetimes, we don't know who we were, but we feel in this lifetime, we feel the same thing that keeps repeating in our lives over and over again. And at times, there are times upon healing, you would notice that there are things in life that you don't understand. For example, you feel like there's something wrong in this family. For example, there's something wrong in this family and you just don't know what it is. You can't explain what it is. You have this feeling, that this nudge, there's something that is telling you but you can't understand. Okay, there are other times where, like, upon healing, when you start to examine yourself, there are things that you do in this lifetime which are unexplainable. Okay, for example, in my case, like, in my case, it will be like, my family thought like my parents trained me to be a successful person in their definitions. Okay, so in the last 16 years of in school, from kindergarten, because I didn't do nursery, I skipped nursery, so I went first kindergarten and then the second one and then went onwards. So that's 16 years. Okay, and then in that 16 years, it's like I'm like, the training was to become the best. Yeah, because one of my parents, like, my parents taught me that in order to compete with the real world is to become the best. Okay, so to become the best. Okay, good, but so where was I? Yeah, so my parents trained me to become the best and become the best among the cousins, for example. So it's like it's been installed in my brain, in my psyche, that in everything that I do, I only produce excellence. Excellence in my field, excellence in whatever I do. And I totally appreciate the training because it really helps. It has been helping me as an adult, but what the same time, what prevents me from expanding is that because of the training, it's so rigid. Like I have to follow the bookish way of things, and it was like I was limited. I felt limited in my life. And because of that limitation, it makes me feel like disconnected within myself, for example, because this is not really what feels right for me. Although it has been my training, it's the way it is, it's a way of life, that's how it's been. I have to perform, I have to be the best, I have to become this and that, to the point like exhausting myself, to the point of draining my precious energy to something that isn't really worth my while, or to throw away my childhood dreams to the and treat it as nothing, something like that. And yeah, like it requires a lot of courage and will to make that possible. And I know not a lot of people can handle that because it requires a lot from you. And for me, it requires a lot of emotional stability on my part, a lot of emotional, psychological, spiritual equipness. Yeah, because it's like that. But to break free from this karmic situation is to do something that you haven't really. It's not like you haven't thought about. You've already thought about it, but it's just a matter of time when you will do it. So it's like that. Like in my case, it happened to me a bit earlier, like right after graduation in my college. Right after, I already felt that being a teacher wasn't really meant for me. Like I know that I will be teaching at some point, but I know that this system sucks. I can't be teaching in this system. I can't. I mean, I still remember in my mind's eye right now, I could really see myself, my 21-year-old self, really telling herself, like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is suicide. I mean, this is not really like other my batchmates and all. They really feel excited about working and all, but I didn't really feel like, oh, I have to join the race and all. I didn't feel that way. So no, it was really like I have this bad feeling. And yeah, in the next 10-15 years, and here we are. Here I am, and here we are talking to each other. So right now, I'm really truly being honest with you, okay? And not all people can understand. Not really, a lot of people could understand my decisions, why I chose to live like that, why I chose a different path, why I. It's a lot of letting go, a lot of acceptance, a lot of acknowledgement that, yeah, I'm losing people, yeah, I'm disappointing people, but in the end, I know that I am the driver of my life. Okay, so it's me that I will decide which way to go, what things that I like to do in this lifetime, what kind of things that I like to do in this lifetime. So in like regarding the message, it's like it's like the same desire that is been kept within you, like this illumination of yearning and the sacredness of the union. The soul lesson here is becoming honest with what you truly want. And from the cards here, it's like saying you desire something. For example, like generations of your family have been marrying someone because of financial status, or let's say because of image and all. And then never in your family, let's say, never in your family, never there was an instance or something, a special instance in your family where your family member or any member of the family married their one true love, the one that sparks their heart, the one that makes their life beautiful. For example, so that's just one example. Okay, so it's like generations. You'll feel that this is a soul lesson because the moment you examine yourself and the moment you examine your family, for example, generations of your family, you will recognize the patterns. Okay, you will recognize the patterns of how, for example, that's just one example, like relationships. How do they choose to marry someone? How do they choose their boyfriends? How do they choose their wives, their husbands? How did they discipline their children? How did they, like, how did your parents discipline you? How did your, how did, how do you see your parents? Are they laughing or are they stiff? Do they hug or do you see them teasing with one another? Or if you see them stiff and just formal? And then you examine that from your father and mother, you then go grandpa to grandma, and then to your oppa, to your oma, and then you go great grandfather, great grandmother. You study those, the patterns. How do they choose their partners? How do they choose their wives, their husbands, their, yeah, partners, their collaborators? How do they navigate their life? How do they, so this is like a soul lesson. Okay, we're talking about a ton of soul lessons that you already know. So you're aware of this instinctively, but your brain just don't have the words for it, maybe, or your brain just don't cooperate right now because you're so stressed with whatever shit is going on. So let's see what else the spirit has. Like to clarify this, like what is the sacred union we're talking about? Are we talking about the divine feminine, divine masculine, or are we talking about something else? What's this divine sacred union and the illumination of yearning? Yearning for what? Yearning for partnership, yearning for true love, yearning for something that is meaningful and purposeful. I don't know. We'll see. And then what's this about denial and the honesty? When honesty comes, they say honesty comes when you're hungry, when you're sleepy, and when you're half awake. So if you ask someone and then they're still like, okay, their ego is not really have their ego doesn't have a grip on them because they're, let's say, hungry, they're not really in optimum condition, and then you ask them something and then you say something and all they just or they just say something that they don't think about, you know and then they later realize, oh, what have I just said, or what did I do, or these are unconscious things, and usually that's the truth. Yeah, we unconsciously blurt out the truth without knowing it, without consciously knowing it, because when we're conscious, that means that we have control. So that means ego is in action. But when we're hungry, we're sleepy, we're really just dead tired, we just say things we feel saying. And at times it can be hurtful because it's really true. Sometimes it can be hurtful. It can be because there's no ego. There's no ego saving you from embarrassment or whatever. Because you just have to pee. Like you just want to pee, and all this anger and all is coming out, frustration and all, and it's just coming out. So these are the raw instances where you can say in the unconscious part of you is in action. Okay, so yeah, like you would know that that's one of the instances that you could say that you're unconscious about something, and you will know the thin line between your conscious, subconscious, and conscious selves. Because when you're conscious, that means you have full control. Your ego is in action during the day when you're okay, when you're. But once you're hungry or you're not really in good condition, you're sick or whatever, this is where the subconscious and unconscious play out. Your subconscious will play out the moment you wake up, half awake. When you're hungry or whatever, or you're in sedation, or you're in under anesthesia, your unconscious blurt out everything that was dormant in you coming out. Or when you're exploding with emotions because you've just been boiling up with emotions and you don't know what you're saying now. It's just blurting out of your system. So, like these things you need to be aware of too, because once you study these instances in your life, then you will know this part of me is repeating. You will see patterns, the repeating patterns, and this is how you will know this is a soul lesson. And you will know this is a karmic lesson because it feels stiff, it feels not right, it doesn't feel right. It feels like there's lacking. It feels like whatever you do and you want, there's always something blocking the way. There's always stopping you. There's always some, whatever it is, big and small endeavors, plans, ideas. The moment you say something, for example, you're with a partner who often say, I don't think that will work, or like that you love this person, but every time you say an idea, or what if you do this or something, it's always met with, I don't know, it will work, or we'll see, or something like that. Like you will know, like figuratively, like there's always that yearning, illumination of yearning of something, sacred union, because you will feel that this union is good, or this is meant to be, because there's just this seamless collaboration happening, partnership between two people. So that's why they say, like, does true love exist? It does exist, only if you embrace it. Because it takes a lot of courage and will to embrace, like, finding your true love, for example. Everyone will marry whoever they want, and everyone will marry for whatever reasons they have. But mostly it's for image, for saving marriage, because he's foreigner, because he has a money, he has this, he's stable and all, and then it will go generations, and then so although like just because of there's an absence of emotional love, you feel love. Yes, love in a way where you have roof on the head, you have food on the table. This is love. But deep inside you, there's this yearning, okay? And then you're kind of confused, you're in denial, but the desire for honesty is there. But it's up to you if you keep denying this feeling inside you or not. So you've already learned a ton of soul lessons. It's your job to find them. Yeah, Page of Sword. You're holding the truth. Okay? Page of Swords. So Page of Swords, you already have the truth in your hands. And you're ready to sway it. Yeah, break free. Break free from the karmic lessons that cursed my generations of my family, for example. So that's just one example, okay? So what else? Like, you've already learned a ton of soul lessons. It's your job to find them. To find the soul lesson of sacred union, and to illuminate. Illuminate what? The yearning of the heart. But it requires this collective dispersion, a great deal of honesty, or a choice to be in denial. Page of Wands. Page of Wands, Page of Swords. The truth is there in your hands. That one thing you want is in your hands. And you notice the difference? This man is looking at the wand. This one is looking in the opposite direction. So it's honesty or denial. Are you honest with yourself or are you in denial? You're holding the truth anyway, but are you willing to finally, I'm seeing the chariot in my mind's eye. Do I need the dice first? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Sacredness, union, and denial. Sacredness, 111 and 6. 111 and 6. Look, 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 it's love. Because one is like, when I see 111, it's like, look around. So usually when I'm on the street, just segue, like when I see 1111 or something, it's usually like, on guard, stop. 32, 33, the times mirroring numbers now. So this is like 111. So it's like, look. So what I usually do then is like, I look around, like from the ground, the sky. Is there something? Okay, like, is there something that I need to talk and record and note and know and acknowledge? So this is like 111. So this is like, look. And then 6 is love. All we need is love, love. The sacred union and the illumination of yearning. You're yearning for your one true love. It's like you're in cloud 9, or you're just look at the two differences of the men. So it's just like it's like, oh, you're there. I want to hold you. Like you know it. You're willing to. It's not like you want to take action now because you're just holding it. Okay. The other one is like, yeah, denial. Yeah, I know what I feel. I know what I want to do, but it's just I'm not ready to swing it forward. Because once you sway the sword forward, what does it do? It breaks things, right? And that's what you don't want to do, maybe because you're afraid that once you do this, it will break things, it will cause some chaos or whatever. Even if it means compromising your one true love, for example. But you're yearning for it. You're yearning for the sacred union. Oh, the sun. Saturn. See, no, it's not Virgo. That's a Capricorn. Yep, Capricorn in the house. Where's that? That one, Capricorn. You see, Capricorn. And where is it? That one. Yeah, that one. That one. Capricorn. Capricorn sun. The sun. And Zebin. Seventh house. Like I said, seventh house talks about marriage and partnerships. You're yearning for a sacred union. You're yearning for the sacred union. But because we have Capricorn in the house, this is really about karma. And when we're talking about relationships, karmic relationships, this is like what I've said. what I've said earlier, like generations of your family, members of your family, from your mother to father, to your grandma, to your grandpa, to your opa, to your oma, to your great grandfather, your great grandmother, all of them have been marrying for money, image, let's say, or they just want to have kids, let's say, but they're not really in love with this person. Because look, it's love. So you're looking for love. 6 is love. 6 is like, if you have 666 in the deck, it will be like caution about love, out of love. So you're yearning to break free from this karmic lesson, soul lesson. Because we have Capricorn in the house and we have the sun. So this is about illumination, really. Because the sun illuminates things. When the sun is up in the sky, what does it do? It brightens the space. It brightens, it it awakes the sunflowers. It awakes all the organisms. It awakes the people. Now they go to work because the sun rises, for example. Now people have to rest because the sun sets. But in this case, we have the illumination. That means the sun. It could also mean Leo. It could also mean Capricorn, rather. So this is like illumination of a karmic lesson, illumination of something karmic that has been repeated for generations and generations, and has been endless. And this has to break free, and you feel it now. That you have to do something to break free from this karmic thing. Okay. And now you have it. You have the answer in your hands now. But now is the time to ask yourself whether are you ready to break free from this karmic responsibility or embrace your soul lesson. And like the message said, you've already learned a ton of soul lessons. It's your job to find them. But how will you find them if you're so distracted? If you're too focused, because we have Saturn here, we have Capricorn in the house. So that means you have traditions. You have ancestral traditions. You have culture in play. You have authority in play. You have law and order. So, Saturn, Capricorn energy is more like CEO. So you're the self-image here, like the self-image. It's about self-image. What will people think about me? What will people think about my losses, my failures? And Capricorns have a great aversion for failure. And the sun here is a fixed sign, so Leos are a fixed sign. So when they want something, they have enough strength to carry on. So, but if it's too much, elimination will happen. We have drought, right? If you have drought, what? Then what? We have desert. And when it's in desert, there's nothing that lives except the scorpions and what? The cacti. Yeah, but you already have it. You're holding the wand. I mean the stick, okay? And this is 7 of Pentacles. This is so Capricorn. Like you're looking at it. Look at the guy. Look at the guy. Look at the guy's face. Like, oh my gosh. My one true love is there. And I'm looking at every pentacle. Every pentacle that this person brings to my life. And what does that pentacle mean? It's up to you what pentacle. Because pentacle is something real. So like education fund, your car, your job, like your material manifestations. Because Capricorn is an earth energy, just like the earth cousins, Virgo and Taurus. So they what they mean is something real, okay? Something real, something that they can hold in their hands. It's not like, okay, I have an idea. No, this is not just about an idea. This is an idea that is about to be born if I were to do something about it and apply. Instead of embracing the karmic lesson, I embrace the soul lesson and break free from the karmic responsibility, karmic relationships, karmic path. You will know it's karmic path going back again. You will know that this is a karmic responsibility, karmic relationship because it doesn't feel right. Whatever you do, like you tried everything to make this work, but this relationship isn't working. Or you tried your best to be the best in this career, in this job, but it seems like does it it's not following your way. It's not really like you're the like you may earn a lot of money like I did, like you like I felt this. For example, like years ago I was supposed to be in cloud nine because I'm earning thousands of dollars from writing. And as a non-native English speaker, it was really like it could say success because I earned this and that much and all. I could pay debts, I could pay my bills and all. But I was ready to take my own life because I don't know, like I just felt like I was just used. I felt used, like I felt like I was just carrying on my life with just being used to being a rat, like you're just in the rat race and there was endlessness of it because I just have to. There was no excitement in my life anymore. I wake up each morning not knowing what to do with my life and I just cry and cry and cry. Sometimes the crying went on so much that I just feel numbed. And that numbness was dangerous because that numbness made me feel like, okay, this is the end of it and there's no sense in my life anymore. And I always repeat in my videos, like I don't want you to end up like that. I don't want anyone to experience that or to go through that. And even if you are, I really feel with you. I'm with you because breaking away from something, like that's the ultimatum of your soul calling. When you reach that point, when you feel the rock bottom, that's when you know that there is really a high need for you to look around and look within and really examine how you've lived your life, whether it's karmic or this is soulful. In my case, I've been ignoring all those lessons. I've been ignoring the whispers. I've been ignoring the signs to the point like I had no other choice but to just want to take my own life. And it's not something that like I want to do or wish to do, but if that was my escape, then I would be doing it. And now looking back, it was actually like the call that pushed me to be alive because right now I'm doing these things. Like this is the call, okay? So it's like that's how what it takes to break away from the karmic responsibility of being the perfect daughter, to embracing the soul lesson of becoming what. Describe what I do. Can you describe what I do? Do you consider me a witch? Do you consider me a healer? Do you consider me as a intuitive person? I don't know. I don't like to label what I do, so because I live my life with so much labels, and it's not up to me now to label what I do now. Ace of Swords. You notice things here? We have we have swords and wands. You have the truth and the action. You have honesty and denial. You have air and you have fire. Because the swords, okay, the swords, these are the air, okay, this is mental. So ideas, you have the idea, this could be an idea, this could be something like memories, experiences, something that is in your in your mind, in your mental, okay, in your head. So like this one, Ace of Wands, you already have the truth, okay? Now it's up to you to swing it like Batosai. Okay. Because anyway, you're looking at it, okay? You're looking at that course of action. Okay, that course of action, you're holding it. Okay, that's fire. Okay, you're holding it. You're yearning for it. The soul lesson, you know what it is. You're aware of it now. So now what? Now what? Now what? What will you do with it? What can we do about it, Spirit King? What can we do about it? You've already learned a ton of soul lessons. It's your job to find them. They already have the answer. Like, you know that you're yearning for the sacred union, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. You already know the karmic lessons. You're aware of what's going on around you and your family, in your life. But it's just now a matter of being honest with it and take course of action, or keep living in denial and just keep living the same life for the sake of comfort and harmony. Fake harmony and fake, big fake. Because karmic is Ten of Swords. You feel run down. This is you. Okay. Do you feel like that? Like just being stabbed in the back. The truth is there. Like you just run down. Like you just okay. Like you have Page of Swords. Like you have the truth. You're holding the truth. It's up to you to swing it, because at the same time you're yearning for it, but it feels so impossible. It feels so like you feel like you're exhausted and drained from all this. Okay? But that's why you're yearning for this union. If this is not about relationship or whatever, maybe this is about your union with self, you and yourself, or it could be like union between you and this special someone, or you or this career, the right career for you, or you and your soul family, community, a sense of community, whatever it is for you. I mean, the sacred union doesn't have to be like, okay, boy and girl, female, like you're longing for something like connection. And to find this connection, it is your task to break free from the karmic lessons. But it's up to you to be honest with it or keep living in denial. Ten of Swords, that's really like you're run down, you're exhausted. Like you just want to, like, there's so much truth. You feel the truth in your back and it's weighing you down. So maybe you feel, that's why maybe you feel unexplainable. If it's really too much and I feel like you're a sensitive person here, like you may feel pain in your back, your neck. You may feel like run down by something. You feel like there's an elephant on your back. You know what I mean? Like you just don't feel like getting up in the morning. You just feel like, okay, I'll carry on. Okay, in fact this, in fact that. You know, there's a choice here. whether you embrace the truth or you keep living in denial. For Because there's an illumination of yearning anyway. You yearn for some kind of connection, sacred union. Okay, sacred union. For the burning heart, for the in love. If you're in love, you see this person. You see this person in front of you and you're looking at this person. Are you willing to take action to make this come true? Or just stick in denial and just, okay, hands off. She's too unreachable anyway, or he's too unreachable anyway, without even trying to make this possible step by step, because we have Capricorn here. Capricorn and Leo in the house. And we have seventh house. Seventh house is about marriage, collaboration, partnership. You know, like sense of, like, this is ruled by Libra. So this is the house of Libra. So that means, partnership, collaboration, community, sense of harmony, sense of balance scale, like in the law, like, like that woman with the balance scales. Yes. So, but you see that woman is also blindfolded, right? I don't know that symbol, that, that woman in the law. That woman holding that thing, holding that balance scale, and she's blindfolded, right? And then she has that harmony, law and order. Okay, so that's what I see now. So it's like you're in denial of the truth, but you already have the truth in your hands. It's your yearning to have this sacred union with somebody or something that you will truly care about. But it's up to you. You have the choice. You have the choice to take action or not, to be honest with it or not, or to just be in denial. You have a choice. Everyone has free will anyway. So I'm just telling you the message, and I hope that this message resonates with you. And if you have any questions or concerns, let me know in the comment section. And yeah, what else do we have here, Spirit? Ah, if you'd like to know more about what I do, you can visit my website, mgaspari.substack.com, and I post these videos, these readings, and at the same time weekly reflections about my life and whatever I do as an independent publisher and author. And you can, if you like to support me as an independent publisher and author, I'm inviting you to get a copy of my book, Strokes of Desire, Code of Errors #1, which is already available in print and ebook across bookstores worldwide. So, yeah. So, should we close it with an oracle? Hedge, potential boundaries and indecision. Do you feel the hedge of your life? You feel like there's a hedge? Yeah, because I feel like you're just down and out of something, of some karmic lessons that is meant for you to learn and embrace, but it's up to you. It's up to you to settle it in this lifetime or in the next lifetime. It's up to you. No one's telling you what to do, and I won't tell you what to do. I'm just making you aware of what you need to be aware of. We have rosemary and we have the seed. This is really clearly explaining the Leo and the Capricorn and the deck. So we have rosemary and we have seeds. So rosemary means remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness. You see, they look so nice. I really like the cards. And you see the key there? Is it a key? Yeah, it looks like a key. You agree with me? That's a key, right? So you have the key to unlock remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness. This is so that explains that It's Capricorn spirit, that energy of Saturn. So because it means loyalty. Capricorns are really loyal to the bone. They're faithful with their whatever plans, goals, relationships. And this is about remembrance. This is about remembrance of who you are. Remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness to oneself. You already have the key. You already have the key to your happiness. Because rosemary, what does rosemary do to a chicken? To a grilled chicken, it makes grilled chicken taste better. Just saying. And the seeds, it's like the Leo energy. New seeds, new ideas, new ideas, hope, and open-mindedness. So that's like the Leo energy, where the Leo invites growth, the elimination of things, life and stuff. And you see that? That's a dream catcher. It looks like a dream catcher to me. And that's so angelic. How do they call it? Cosmogram or so? That's an angelic pattern there. Do you recognize that pattern? I feel like that's like cosmogram or so, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see. What do they have in here? Rosemary. Oh, the light is off. Let's see, rosemary. Rosemary and okay. Rosemary, remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness. So rosemary is an aromatic herb, like I said, like it makes the grilled chicken taste better. So it's an aromatic herb closely associated with loyalty, devotion, and remembrance of the dead. The sharp, piney smell is clean, helping to clear away confusion and uncertainty. Rosemary's needles grow on woody stems, a strong core that is not easily broken. The rosemary card tells you to be faithful to what you hold sacred in your life. That's why it's important to remember who you are as a soul, as a living soul, because you already know the soul lessons. You've already learned a ton of soul lessons. It's your job to find them. So now this rosemary card is telling you to be faithful to what you hold sacred in your life and don't deny and be honest with it. Whether that is your values, beliefs, people, or whatever you feel passionate about, remember these things and honor them. Keep them in mind when making choices. Don't let the world sway you from your ideals. So now, like this card is asking you to reflect. What do you hold to be sacred? What is sacred in your life? That's why sacred. The sacred union. Sacredness. Right? It's so magical. And what else? We have the seeds. Seeds. Okay. You know what I learned from having this green witchcraft deck is to appreciate the table of contents because it's a lot. Anyway, so the seeds is a symbol of new ideas, means new ideas, hope, and open-mindedness. So the seed contains the blueprint for an entirely new plant, a future living thing. So it is a miracle that something so small holds the key, again, the key to new life. So you are the seed of this. The fact that you're aware of this, that you are the seed of it. You're the seed to the next generation, for example. So there's so much potential within the seed. In fact, planting a seed is an act of hope. It's the first step in a project or undertaking, trusting that in the future you will actualize your dream. However, there's work ahead. This is not a simple thing, it requires work. If the seed sprouts, it will need care and attention to maximize its potential. You will need to nourish it to help it to grow. The seeds card tells you that there's something worth your time, that is waiting for you to be recognized. Don't immediately dismiss ideas as far fetched or impossible. Give them consideration, and there may always be something to learn. So always give consideration to the far-fetched ideas, whatever you have in your mind, and even if you think, if your brain can understand what your heart and soul is saying, just record them, take note of them, just don't judge them, okay? Because there may be something to learn. It maybe it's something that a soul lesson, okay? Maybe it's a soul lesson that you need to learn. So for your reflection question, there's a question here about when you're thinking about new ideas or new projects, what do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve? And based from what we have here, it's like a sacred union of something. Because something was illuminated within you in an illumination of the yearning of the sacred union. You want to be you're reunited with this person, reunited with something, a career, the right career for you, the right, excuse me, the right home for you. I don't know. Only you know the truth, okay? Not me. I'm just telling you what is here and what's on the deck and what message that you need to know for today. So, yeah. Are you still with me? I hope that you're still with me. And I know we've been here for already almost more than an hour. More than an hour. Okay, so if you're still here with me, thank you so much for spending time with me, and I hope that you will have a nice day, and always take care of yourself, okay? And you have a choice here. Choice to break away from the karmic and embrace the soul, or you just keep denying and be honest with yourself, You have choices here, and you have the power to exercise your free will. Okay, so that will be all, and I hope that again you'll have a nice day, and I love you and care for you. So please take care of yourself, just as I love and care for myself. So, yeah, I think that will be all for today, and see you in the next one. Cheersy!